Hello, everybody. Good morning, and welcome to the relaunch of this monthly show with none other than Jake from Brave and the Boys. I am Dom of X. I hope you're. How is your morning, bro? It's been a while since we've done this, but I'm happy to be back on. I think that's. Yeah. They get to. You know what? We'll do that in March. We'll do that in March. I did see. I need to figure out a way to integrate it, but I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope you guys are lively. There is, of course, James Abel with the clock on the bottom of the screen. Let me see if I can actually blow that up just a bit. I know that I'm interfering with the Titans' faces on the bottom, but it is what it is. All right, yeah. Welcome, Logan Wayne, to the first episode of these Titans Tuesdays. The next one, by the way, we will talk a little bit about what our agenda is with this monthly series going forward, which means etc. But we hope you are well, Logan. And yes, it is hashtag. Okay, you know what? I gotta ask. What was the origin of the crowbar? Uh, mhm. Ah, I see. Oh, they can't. They should be. Oh, actually, you know what? Hold on. Try to say something. Okay, repeat the story. I apologize.
Can you guys hear me now?
I think
Chat, are
we.
we good?
I think we're
Chat,
good.
give me a thumbs up. Labruski still can't hear me.
Give it a second.
We're reading the chat back,
We are
Kato.
reading the chat. I promise you guys, we are reading the chat. Oh my gosh, everyone's saying.
Am I back?
Yeah, my levels are good now, so.
Oh,
Okay,
was that
yeah.
thumbs up? Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Weird. I was unmuted. I clicked mute and unmuted. Oh, no. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, there we go. We're back. Okay. So the origins of the crowbar story is that the way that Dom of X is like the Tim Drake Robin to Omar's Batman. I'm the Jason Todd to Jess from Omnidog. And whenever I get out of line or I say something that he hates, like I don't need this isn't even an opinion, but if I'm like, I don't think David Nakayami draws the best covers of all time. He's like, oh, you're gonna get the crowbar. Like we're some old. Again, I like David Nakayami. I think his art is amazing. I was just saying that as an example that would make Jess grab the crowbar. You know, if I said
Ah,
something
okay.
something that he disagreed with or something that he didn't like. But the what made it really funny was sometimes my mom watches our live stream. Like one time she texted me, bro, and she goes, "I think those would have made very nice calendars."
Oh
Like
my gosh.
I was like, why did she watch that episode out of all of them? That was a reference to when me and Dom picked what would be our top male and female swimsuit for DC. But she was so supportive. But she goes, "Why does that man want to hit you with a crowbar?" And I had to and off camera, Jess goes, "Hey man, you know I love you, right?" And I'm like, "No, dude, we're good. This is just when you get close enough with someone, that's how you show your love." Like they did that show for Jess where we all said nice things, and I was like, "Dude, we're too close for me to say nice things about you."
Mhm.
Like it seems more ingenuine when we're roasting each other.
Yeah, I feel like that's a sort of like ongoing theme with like I remember watching Cars 2 and like the whole thing with Mater and Lightning McQueen like fighting in the whole movie or like they had a super big fight. And then I think it's Luigi or like whatever the car who does the tires in the movie. He's like,
That is Luigi.
yeah, right. So yeah, his dad or cousin or whatever was like, "Yo, man, the best friends in life fight all the time. That happens because Everybody's different and it's bound to happen. So honestly, I think it's an affirmation that the closer you are, the more you have to go up against each other, or else it's just not going to work out.
I've actually never seen Cars 2 because my wife is the most obsessive Cars fan you'll ever meet. She worked at the ride for 5 years at Disney and even has a tattoo.
Mm.
And according to her, Cars 2 does not exist. So
Yeah,
she makes me go Cars 1 and Cars 3.
that's
I've never I've never seen Cars 2.
100% fair. But yes, Jake was eating a muffin and a croissant. And what did you manage to read in the complete hour you were preparing for this
Oh,
stream?
in the complete hour that I was preparing, I read every bit of every one of the five Teen Titans omnibuses.
Hmm.
So it was just some light reading. All five omnis, even including the out of print ones that I don't own. I read them physically.
Including Volume 6, the omnibus
That's never been released.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. So, but yeah, big thank you for the shout out on the thumb bunk. I do appreciate it. I had to get Jake his best suave look.
I like that photo of myself too.
It's a good it's a super high quality photo. I went into Photoshop. I was like, man, this is 2K. It should be like 4K res. But I don't even. Does Taco Bell, also good morning to you, Alex? Does Taco Bell actually have croissants and or muffins?
They have chicken nuggets now, which that felt like it was gonna fix our marriage, but now we're trying to eat healthy in the new year. So, um, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I haven't had fast food other than In-N-Out all year.
I still cannot believe it's 2025. The moment you said that, I was like, wait, it still feels like 2024. Take me back. But yes, we are indeed back Kato. And yeah, we're all good. I know the countdown's a little bit. I promise I'll work on it. I'm gonna photo or edit some thingies, make it speed faster. But
You are too critical, man. It was amazing when Titans popped up and there was those circles. I felt like it was a dream come true.
I will take some of the flattery. But yeah, though, tune in. Forget the work. This is work. Listening to us is, but no, we're good. Hey, the other Dom. Hope you're doing well. Good morning and a snow day. I heard over in the East Coast, it's like apparently the biggest snowstorm in the decade or something like that. Alex, somebody fact check
I
me.
know it's crazy. Like poor JP's like it's so cold at the warehouse at OPB that the owner of the building turned the water off so they don't get bathroom breaks.
Are you
As they're-
serious?
Yeah, because the water's like would freeze in the pipes. So he's like, "Yeah, we got 18 pallets and no bathroom breaks tomorrow." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I think I might go outside tomorrow."
That is cold for bathrooms.
Yeah.
But yeah, hey, I appreciate it. We promise that, or I promise that. Hopefully, YouTube doesn't kill the ads. I always have it set to balance, but you never know with YouTube.
Oh, and I go straight aggressive.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
okay. James saying here he's okay with you having no audio.
Oh, Jake should be seen and not heard, according to James Abel.
Oh, Jamie Z boy, how dare, how dare. All right. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. We got people for another 10 minutes, but yeah, hope good to see you too, Labruski. Yeah, so there you go. Then I gotta order the Authority Compendium.
Is it Authority Compendium?
Yeah, or the Stormwatch Road to Authority
Yeah,
Compendium.
got it. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it as the Stormwatch one.
Fair enough. But yeah, man, hope everybody in the chat is doing well as far as introductions are concerned. And this is, of course, Titans Tuesday, where it's just going to be me and Jake talking about whatever is the hot topic in comics. A nice little hangout where we just talk about whatever comes up in chat. If there's news, if there's anything of the sort. Also, if you guys have any questions, we'd love to answer them. And the way this is going to work, or what we have penciled in, is that the next month, or next first month of Tuesday, I will be on Jake's channel and vice versa.
Chat, let us know. Would that be a downgrade because of all these cool graphics? Should it just be on Dom's show and he tags my name in the title? Let us know because honestly, my only problem with the graphics is why do you have all the cuties on your side? Like you get Donna Troy below you and Raven and Starfire, and I get Garfield on my side. Why do I
Dick
have no? I guess I
Grayson's
have you.
there.
You gave okay. You gave me Dick Grayson. Nice. I'll give you that. But uh, give me Donna Troy. I'll
Oh.
trade you. I'll trade. I'm just kidding.
um, I will figure out a way to adjust that. But no, the cool thing about OBS is that as long as you have the other person's stream key, I can still do these graphics when we go over to your show next month.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about OBS. I might not have like complete control of chat and stuff or whatever, but I have control over everything else. So
So I made a decision for the new year, a New Year's resolution for my channel. I I got into the habit of like trying to like ch chase Omar and chase the new releases and try to do an overview between mine and OPB's channel on every single book that came out.
hmm
And I realized I was doing overviews for books I didn't care about, like I didn't even enjoy.
hmm
So I'm gonna dramatically cut down on overviews and try to just do more longer term videos that I enjoy, and because like who's gonna watch my shorter, not as good review that comes out a week after Omar's video?
right.
Um,
I kind of feel not the same way, but for me, it's been a lot of trying to think about, do I want to do, if I buy a book, do I have to do a video on it?
and you don't, man. That makes your hobby work, and you should be able to buy a book, read it, and enjoy it.
100%. I mean, that's the thing with a lot of these books out nowadays is like you're not gonna fall in love with every book. There's also some books that you get. Sometimes,
True.
right? Sometimes you just don't care for the stuff inside, or it's just okay to you. And I think
And it
it's
makes me feel ungrateful sometimes. Like I should be jazzed about every book I get, but like maybe I shouldn't jump into Micronauts in volume 3 if I've never read volume 1 and 2?
right. I thought you were gonna like actually do that. Start at Micronauts with issue like 51 or whatever, and just move
Well,
along.
well,
Yeah.
this is my one and only Micronauts omnibus. So
Oh my gosh, that is funny.
that's classic Jake though, right?
That is no, that is classic. I mean, you eventually fell in for the X-Men Tashin.
It
So
hasn't shipped yet, but yes. So I haven't, but I do have a nice little. Maybe they can't see it, but I got a nice little Taschen library growing.
you're gonna get he's gonna collect all of them. And of course, this is the first issue. It'll be a collector. Okay, holographic cover. I need to do that in After Effects, Phil. I'll find a way to do that.
Can it be a what's it called? A acetate cover? Like New
Ooh,
Gods? And
assets.
if you put all the covers together, it gives you the anti-life equation.
Oh my gosh, the anti-life equation is just you, me, and a whole bunch of omnis in the middle.
The anti-life equation is me checking my bank account.
I feel like that's every. I actually looked at the tally of how much money I've spent on omnis in the last like 3.5 years, and it equates up to like a half of what I spent on my car back in 2018.
That's crazy, man. I luckily have really toned down omni like books I pay for with money, but I also feel like if I calculated how much time I spend on the books I get paid for with my labor, it
hmm
would also because you can get money back, but you don't get your time back when
hmm
you're like, I spent 20 hours working for 2 free books this week, and you're like, is it worth it? And you're like, I don't know if it is.
Yeah, I completely agree. Completely
But we're
agree.
grateful. To the outside, it sounds like I'm blessed. I know you're blessed, but it's also like it's a lot of work for and people don't that's why one of the first videos we're making, this will be a little sneak peek. One of the first videos we're making this month, which is completely different and it might bomb, but chat, let me know if you think it'll be interesting. We got a second camera from work. So now we can finally film a video of a behind the scenes of how we make a video from beginning to end. So like it'll start with me like being like, okay, so like for instance, say you top 10 Jeff Johns books. It'll be me like reading 20 Jeff Johns books of picking my 10 and then like making my list and then shooting the shot and then finding the B-roll images and then shooting like it sometimes for overhead shots it takes Jordan 30 minutes to set up the tripod. Like people don't realize like how much work goes behind the scenes. So I'm hoping that I can make an interesting different style video that shows people like how much work it really is, you know?
That's why I love. There's a YouTube channel called Think Media that do a lot of camera tutorials, setup tutorials, whether it's for software or hardware. And I actually find a lot of their content useful because yeah, we don't have many of those in comics media at all. Like
Yeah.
typically, it's just people going behind to shoot. I mean,
I
some
think
yeah. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I think Omar did one video where he showed his gear, like, and that was one of my favorite videos he's ever done. It was like him being like, "This is the camera that's always ready at all times for overhead shots," and like that was so. But I think that's interesting because we're other creators, you know. I feel
Mhm.
like maybe regular people who just like comics might not care, but I'm hoping they at least enjoy it because it's something that I want to make creatively.
And hopefully, like encourage others to get into if they want to get into content creation or thinking of it, might as well, right? It's gonna be a
Yeah.
good reference, so 100%. So yeah, we got all the audio people telling in. Uh, don't worry, we're good now. We're good now, guys, or we've been good anyways. Um, yeah, all thumbs up.
So is this the first issue or is this the first issue of the relaunch? Like, did we go back to renumber to number ones?
We went back to number one.
Okay. So yeah, no, or like that was adjectiveless Titans Tuesdays,
Mhm.
and then this is when it gets relaunched with a
Exactly.
giant size.
Yeah, giant size, and then you got to have the Rebirth logo tag added onto it.
Yeah. But we
Uh,
also have the bullet logo. So we
d-
have both somehow.
yeah. So we have both Rebirth and the Bullet logo. So we're going newbie and retro for all the peeps.
Can I say my favorite thing that DC does now?
Yes.
Which is like I was so excited and my wife was like, "That's kind of cool. I like it," but I was so pumped. Have you seen their logo? Like their, you know, like the start of every DC movie or TV show now,
Hmm.
like has that Superman breaking the chains logo thing.
Yeah.
And it's so perfect.
Mm. I know. I
Uh,
completely agree.
yeah.
I like it more than the ones that they did with like the Zack Snyder era, where
Oh,
it's like
all the
they're so
characters.
all the
Yeah, their
characters, but it's
silhouettes.
they're silhouettes. You can't see their faces. I saw somebody on Twitter. They got like over 1 million likes, and they said, "How bad of a company do you have to be to not show the faces of these characters?" And then someone replied, "Well, I'm pretty sure Warner Brothers knew they were all gonna get recast in 10 years anyways." And I was like,
That
"Hey,
is so accurate. They don't even know who half these characters are gonna be.
oh my gosh, no,
Plus,
that's
you have to silhouette Superman's face because he has that mustache that I'm rocking right now.
exactly." So yeah, we got Paul Blart in a chat, Elon. Um, but yeah, I hope you're having a. So yeah, so Alex, everybody's trying to vie for a Robin. You know what? This is my opportunity to promote. If you guys have not yet, I would suggest, even though it's not a great book, read everything post Batman and Robin Eternal with We Are Robin and the Robin War. The Robin War series during the DCU right before they hit Rebirth because everyone tries to vie. It's with Duke Thomas. It's with a whole lot of other characters.
Duke Thomas, the most wasted Robin.
Most wasted Robin indeed.
And it was, what's his name? Signal?
Yeah, Signal is his
Yeah.
superhero name.
I
Um,
like the vibe of like, he's Robin, but during the day. And it's like, but then they did nothing with it.
yeah, it kind of does feel a little bit like that. And then yeah, he had his own miniseries with Batman for 3 issues, which I was actually expecting to be thrown into the Justice League by Scott Snyder Omni or the All Star Batman Deluxe hardcover. They just never threw it in there. Uh,
It's orphaned, just like Batman. And just like Duke Thomas, right?
yeah, just like dude, and also
She
cat
didn't she
that
get his mom got Jokerized or something? I
yeah.
forget.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But yeah, I did not. Hey, Max, I didn't expect it to be a Cars Tooth Truther stream, but the truth is, for me, like that was the only DVD we had when I was gosh, I was like 10 or 11, and it was the only DVD in our Honda Sienna at the time. So I would just keep
Whoa, you
rewatching.
had a TV in your car?
Yeah, we had a well,
Whoa. You watched Cars in a car?
I watched Cars in a Car a couple of times too. But yeah, Ken is saying I've been reading a ton of Superman, Supergirl, Flash, and Green Arrow. Let us know in the chat what you guys are reading. We'd love to hear what you guys are picking up at the store or are enjoying in this brand new year. And yes, Roy, you did hear croissants. I did also have one with pizza this morning. Very weird combination.
And I'm still on my intermittent fast for the new day.
Indeed. I I actually anticipate, Alex, that Titans or the Perez Wolfman run omnibuses will continue sometime, because we had a confirmation that the Teen Titans project movie was greenlit at DC Studios,
And it's supposed to be the TV show cast.
which is unfortunate because I want to see Roy and Donna and
Roy was just in the chat a second ago.
That's right. He was. Roy, if you're still here, we'd love to see you in Titans. Alex, the only fast food Jake, the only fast food I had is In-N-Out.
Okay, will you back me up that you can actually do In-N-Out with okay macros and okay calories if you because of all their substitutions?
Yeah, you can. It's actually possible. I've done it
cut
before.
Cut out the spread, and that's already 80 calories down right there. People think, oh, I'll do a 4x4. A 4x2 has like 160 less calories, and it's still a lot of cheese. Like, you don't need to do a 1-to-1 meat to cheese ratio for your burger, you know?
No, 100%. I did that when I was playing basketball last year. So like right before like the playoffs or postseason started, that's literally all I was doing if I was like outside. I'm like, I'll just go to In-N-Out. I'll have the subs. I won't worry about the caloric intake and whatnot. So it is what it is. But yeah, no, cuties everywhere on the stream, Jean Remy. I completely agree.
I'm gonna pretend he's talking about us and not the Titans characters.
There you go. I completely agree. I feel like I've said I completely agree at least 30 times in the last.
Tell me what
minutes.
you disagree. Tell me that you love Cars too, and I'm missing out on a good film.
I think 10-year-old me probably would have said it's a good movie. I don't know about current me now, but that is what I felt like when I watched that over and over again. You have no many times how much I love Finn McMissile or Flynn. Is it Finn or Flynn? Chat. And
chat's all chat's gonna say we don't watch Cars 2. It doesn't exist.
And what was the other? There was something else. What was it? Anyway,
my favorite character is Fillmore, the hippie van.
Oh yeah, dude, I love Fillmore. He has a. You've been to Disneyland multiple times. What do they sell over at his part in the park? Do you remember?
Yeah. So you can usually get like the little what are they called? Not RC car. What are they, like Hot Wheels? They look like Hot Wheels of the cars. And then usually like a jacket or like a shirt or like little race cars, little RC cars. My favorite was Jackson Storm until the voice actor turned out to be a cannibal. So
that's fair enough.
Yeah, but Jackson Storm was the villain in the third one. My wife has been on the Cars ride because she had to ride it every morning for work and every night when they closed. So she's been on it probably over 1,000 times. And the most endearing, annoying thing is when we go on the ride together, she knows every bit of audio perfectly timed for the ride. So she goes, "Whoa, slow down. We're not racing." And she just does the entire ride for me.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. That is actually funny.
One nice thing though is like she has such a legacy there that we can go there still. And she goes like, "Hey," they're like, "Oh my gosh, Jessica, it's so great to see you." And I'm like, "Cool." And they're like, "We'll walk you to the front."
That's see, I wish I had that. You know how many times I would have killed for when I was in high school every single time like we had whatever tour, or if it was like me and my friends were on vacation. We had to wait in like 2.5 hour lines.
Bro, that Cars ride can get up to like 3.5 hours, and it is not worth 3.5 hours.
It's not, no. For the like 3-4 minutes of
slow down. You're not racing yet.
We're going chitter-tracting. Yeehaw! Oh my gosh.
Yeehaw!
There you go, Larry the Cable Guy. Yeah, there you go. Just finished reading USM Omni Volume 3 digitally or physically, Alex? I'm assuming physical.
Did you hear that? I think Ultimate 2 is, oh, at least from what Ultimate 2 looks like it's back ordered. Oh, did I freeze?
I think your video's frozen, my friend. Oh no,
Hello?
chat. Okay, there we go.
Oh,
He's
am I
back.
back? Okay, sorry, I froze. Ultimate Spider-Man 2 looks like it's pretty back ordered.
Okay,
So I don't know if that's going to lead to it being out of stock soon. Like it's indefinitely back ordered. So
interesting.
the ebb and flows. I finally have access to like Penguin and Lunar and Diamond, so I can see like what books are back ordered and out of stock and things like that. So which is cool information.
That is nice information to have, and also like, oh, this book's out of print, guys, and you're like, no, it's not. Then you just go pick apart.
Yeah.
That's something nice to have. I wish I was still working at my comic shop, because the nice thing about that was just getting to see like, hey, these things are getting restocked or whatever it
Yeah.
is on Penguin or Lunar.
Or
Uh,
when I place a back ordered order now, I can actually see like, oh, it should be here in 2 weeks.
hmm. I need to get new Avengers. I actually just realized, GK, I do need to buy new Avengers at some point. Uh,
I think I have that chip into me. I've actually never read it, and people got me hyped on my last buyer's guide stream. Apparently, it's one of like the single best Marvel omnis ever.
oh yeah, the contents at least in the first two volumes are like 100% worth it. Bendis, if Busiek was the one who re-put Avengers on the map after Stern and everybody else back in the 80s, it's Bendis who took them to JLA type of popularity.
So a little more important than Micronauts Volume 3.
Oh, 100% more important than Micronauts Volume 3. I mean, this is something that people I think have been asking for the last like 15, yeah, 15 years.
Can you name a single character on this cover?
No. Oh my gosh. He froze again. Okay,
Okay, I'm back.
he's back. I can't name you a single person on that cover though.
But you can name real or fake X-Men. I'm just kidding. We didn't prepare for that.
We do need to prepare. You know, no, I had a lot of fun doing those like mini games. We'll bring a game to the chat next time.
My favorite was that Glob Herman is a real mutant.
He is very much a real mutant, and I've very much read him in a lot of X-Men stories. He's a weird, he's a weird guy, but I like him. I don't know why.
See, Maggot, the name seemed uninspired, but then when I read Maggot's backstory and it's like he has two worms inside him, Eenie and Meanie.
Hmm.
Um, like that's when I would have said that's so ridiculous, he's got to be fake. So like hearing the backstories might be interesting because that adds so much context.
It does. I Let me see if
He was about to say I completely agree.
I
again.
stopped
He forgot
myself.
himself.
I stopped myself, chat. I stopped myself. Hey, I'm not corporate. I don't make up who gets to be what. That's just
Yeah.
that's osmosis, Alex. You gotta. I don't think Damien ever worked for it, but
Who's what's her what's the one from Dark Knight Returns? Carrie, is it
yeah,
Carrie
Carrie
Kelly?
Kelly. Yeah,
Alex can be Carrie Kelly. They have the same
mm,
hair.
that's not wrong.
But he has to call me boss. Like she's like, because I'll be like, Alex, do this exactly how I say, or you're fired.
Also, there you go. Elon's saying that Jake is more of a
Hey,
Henry Cavill Superman type.
I'll take that over Paul Blart.
Uh, do you get the lettuce wrap burger,
The
Alex?
lettuce wrap burger is for the weak. Better options are the tomato wrapped or the exotic whole grilled onion wrapped.
I always get if I want it wrapped, I always get the grilled onion. I love In-N-Out's onions. They are really good. The way they dice them and slice them and put them on. I'm like, why do
Yeah,
you guys have to ask me if I want onions? No, just put it on. If I don't want it, I don't want it. Um,
I completely agree.
I got shot there this time. Of course, I was including it. Hey, there you go. We appreciate it. Um, we appreciate that as well. Uh, has anybody watched Nosferatu yet?
I have.
There you go.
And can I say this? As much as Robert Egger movies need to be seen in the theater, I also I was having that experience that my wife would have enjoyed it significantly more, and I think I would have enjoyed it more if it was home at my like projector or my OLED with subtitles on. Because Here's the only weird thing about that movie. So the movie takes place in like really, 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 really old 1800s Germany. Yet everyone just has British accents that they never break. Like all of Robert Eggers' movies have really like thick accents,
Hmm.
and like but they're very specific and time period accurate. And it took me out that they're in German, but they're not speaking like with German accents. They were speaking with like British accents. Um, but Nosferatu as like I've never seen like you've never seen Skarsgård transform. Like you think Pennywise was a transformation. He looks unrecognizable as Nosferatu. Lily Depp does amazing. Though I would have loved to see the original version with Anna Taylor-Joy, but it was fantastic. And now I got to be like, oh look, he's gonna be Lex Luthor in the next Superman movie to the guy who played Thomas. So I think it was fantastic. I love all his movies, but I just wish I would have had subtitles.
Oh, I feel you there. My only experience with Nosferatu is that he made a cameo in SpongeBob.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's unfortunately where my experience with those end. I need to.
Well, according to the director, he's grateful for SpongeBob because for a lot of younger people, that's their introduction to Nosferatu.
That was
You're
my
supposed to
introduction
believe
to
it.
Nosferatu. In that episode where I think they're working the late night shift, and Squidward tells SpongeBob of the person with the
The
spatula,
hash slinging
the
slasher.
hash slinging slasher, and yeah, that was my that's been the only one experience that I've had with Nosferatu. Uh, I don't remember Cars at all. The whole franchise feels like a blur in my mind. I just remember they tried to.
Is the freezing like like a Zoom thing or like a OBS? Because my Wi-Fi is like great.
I think no, I think you're good. It sometimes
Okay.
yeah. I think what did happen there because I had the participants tab on or you turn it on and you get to see
Mhm.
like, oh, it's me and you. I turned that off, so it
Okay.
should be
Okay.
good.
Cool.
Yeah, Michael Caine wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't one of them, wasn't he?
The one
Uh,
that doesn't exist.
the one that doesn't.
But I love Michael Caine. He has this quote about being in chat. Which Jaws was Michael Caine in? But he goes like, "Oh, I've never seen Jaws 16, and I've heard it's a terrible film, but I've seen the house that it bought me, and I love it."
Indeed. Jake also being told a hi from the bunk master B man, who
Who's too scared to turn cards sideways with me lately?
I know, but you know what? He actually texted me earlier today and said that Chimchar was his favorite of platinum starters or for the starters in Sinnoh. I just told him he's a super underrated like starter. I have not seen anybody talk about him. Like I've seen people talk about, of course, Piplup, mainly because of the anime. I mean, that's how he got to be my favorite starter. And then I know a lot of people love Turtwig because they like cute turtles, but I think Chimchar is a little bit underappreciated.
I just think that people got a little burned out of
Ah,
fighting fire type starters. Because
I wish I had a drum sound
I
effect.
know that was terrible. Please kick me off the show. I never cared about the pig. Who was the pig?
Oh, Tepig?
Yeah, I never cared about Tepig. It was never my thing.
I think Tepig is cute, but I hate Embor. I hate Embor with a
And
flaming
then
passion.
I don't care about Incineroar. I don't like him in Smash Bros.
Yeah,
But he was dark fire, or was he still fighting fire?
I just finished Ultramoon not too long ago.
I think he's fighting because of his
Yeah,
like lariat moves in
right,
Smash Bros.
right.
He's like a wrestler. Um, I gotta say, my favorite modern fire starter is oh my god, I'm blanking on the name. Who's the apple, the fire apple from the newest
Appleton?
one?
No.
No, 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 the starter, the ghost type, fire ghost. The crocodile apple. Who's the most recent fire starter? It's
Oh, Fuecoco?
yeah, Free Coco is my favorite like starter since maybe Torchic or Mudkip.
That is high praise for Fuecoco. I like
Yeah, I
Fuecoco.
love
So
Fuecoco.
what? Yeah, starter and all the starter nines are cute. I usually like typically rank them in cuteness and how ugly their final types are to their cuteness. Usually, not always, but usually, all of the starters are cute for Gen 9. So
Nothing was harder than when I had to explain to my wife that I had to buy her a copy of the alternative Pokemon game that I was buying for myself
mhm.
because I needed to complete the Pokédex and get all three starters.
Right.
That was that was like that was a Shark Tank episode.
That was a searching episode.
I had to be like, look, I buy you a copy. We can play together. That's what I'm saying. It'll never happen. You'll never play with me, but it allows me to trade with myself, and I get all three starters. And look how cute they are. Don't make me choose. And I will make you an account, and we'll give you the grass kitty Pokemon because you love cats.
I love Sprigatito. I think Sprigatito. I keep going back and forth between what my favorites are because I'm like I love Quaxley, I love Sprig, and I love White Cocoa. I can't blame.
Quaxly's my least favorite.
Interesting. I like his Suave.
Donald Duck looking ripoff.
There you go, Alex.
Look, all I see is I don't think there's a Quaxley Tashin.
Yeah, we don't have a Tashin for Pokemon. Someday, Tashin, make a Pokemon one. I'm currently reading Prelude to the Mutant Massacre in DC versus Marvel Omnis, enjoying the third story, Hulk versus Batman. So that's a good sign to see. That
I love when Joker's like, "Come on, Hulk, your hair is green, my hair is green. We should be on the same side." Like that's good Joker logic.
I like the Joker logic in that. Gianni, good morning to you. Glob is Grant Morrison's best original character.
Gianni, when are you gonna send James Abel suggestions of real and fake mutants for real and fake mutant? We need your expertise. This is what all your X-Men reading has led to.
This is exactly what it has led to. Started buying Avengers comics sometime around 1968. I have the full set. I dropped the book because of Bendis. New Avengers, it's awful.
Don't tell me that. People got me so excited last week. I've heard nothing but praise until I met you.
Phil.
That's okay. Different people like different things.
Yeah, Javier, good morning to you as well. Let's.
Do you have any New Year's resolutions for your channel or for your collecting this year?
I actually think I can announce this on stream today. I am going to be doing long form videos on retrospectives on Marvel Now books. So everything like Thor by Jason Aaron, Hickman Avengers, Remender Uncanny Avengers, and the other one, Captain America. What else? Oh, Daredevil by Mark Waid. That era of Marvel. I have something prepped out. I called a friend last night, and he was giving me some suggestions on what I could do with my channel. And I
think that's awesome. That's pretty evergreen content. You know what I mean? Because people are always going to be it might not be the fastest growing off the bat, but over time, anyone that's interested in Thor by Jason Aaron can Google your video and it'll never be outdated.
Exactly. And not only that too, I think people are starting to get a big sense of nostalgia for that era of Marvel. The one misstep, unfortunately, I think with Axel Alonso, who was editor-in-chief right after Joe Quesada got promoted to president in 2011, was that he was the one who pretty much oversaturated the market with events and unnecessarily tying comic series into events. But the thing with him is that he got so many amazing creators over the span of his 6-7 year tenure as editor-in-chief at Marvel that I think it's really hard to look back on that era now without fondness. And a lot of the omnibuses we've been getting, modern ones anyways, are from 2012 or published from 2011 to 2018. So we have a lot of good Marvel now, I think, in thanks to Axel, and I want to do videos on that. So
I think that's an amazing idea, man, because that's an era that you're passionate about. And I also think that there is a market for longer videos. Maybe people don't watch the whole video in one take. Maybe they pause it, they get lunch, and they come back to it. But like, give someone like, it's been a series that's marinated with you for years now. You know what I mean? And like going back to it and reading it a second time or something. I feel like there's so much more value for someone watching that than a 20-minute, 10-minute first look of the book. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there is. And I think the nice thing about these videos, at least for me, are because I was on the other side, like as a teenager. I was reading New 52, Justice League, Batman and Robin, Teen Titans, Superman, etc. I didn't grow up with Marvel as a kid. Like these were books that I had read in the meantime. So I'll be getting to look at it from the perspective of I was a DC kid growing up. I never got these Marvel Now trade paperbacks when I was a kid. I was getting the New 52 standard hardcovers and trade paperbacks from my uncle and cousin.
Oh, so have you read these stories? Or
I've read it.
Oh, okay.
Well, there's both. There's going to be a lot of first times, and there's also going to be a lot of like
Got it. I thought it was stuff that you read in like singles, and then now you're going back to it in the collected edition. Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
Which I don't think it's a bad angle to look at either way. I have a lot of ideas that I want to do for it. Um, God bless the people who make. If anybody out there that you don't have to agree with their opinions at all, but I actually use Vox, like not Fox, but VOX
That's a
on.
big difference. There's a big.
There's a
Let's
big
put that
difference.
up in text on the screen so people
There's a
don't get
big
confused.
difference there. But regardless of whether you agree with their politics or not, I love the way that they edit their videos, the way the animations look, the transitions, and it's something that I've been inspired to do by for a long. Like a lot of the stuff you see in the back screen, that is influence from those folks. So I want to be able to do that and integrate it with my videos, and I want to do that for the retrospective. So I have that. So that's that's been my big New Year's resolution. But I mean the other ones, of course, I like this show being a monthly and committing to it,
Yeah, but
and
only 12 a year. You know what I mean?
only 12 a year. So and the best part is it's like reading a comic book single. You get
Yeah.
single issue, 22 pages of story. Well, you get it's not 22 minutes of show, but
Yeah.
it's more than enough for all of the. Uh,
It's probably 22 quality minutes of the show. I'm just kidding.
there you go. Uh,
Yeah, it's good, but I'm sure there'll people that'll trade wait us and they'll wait till the whole year to watch all 12 live streams in one go.
I see. There's obviously the Avengers, and I can't wait to see those people whenever they watch the replays and the comments as well. And do you guys have any reading goals for? So yeah, or for Owen, anyways, it's to read at least one Superman issue a day, and that's already turned me reading all of Man of Steel by Byrne past Volume 1
What
this past weekend.
what I like about Owen's goal is it uses like the principles of atomic habit where set your resolution or your goal as tiny as possible. And because if your goal is to read one Superman issue a day, on a bad day, you're going to read one issue, but you still succeed your goal. On a regular day, you're probably going to read one Superman issue and then you're going to read 2 to 3 more. But you never want to make your goal, I'm going to read 10 Superman issues a day, You want to set your goal as easy as possible so that on an off day it doesn't feel like you failed. Um my problem is I go through periods where I don't read a comic for like 2 to 3 days, and then I binge comics all day long for like 2 to 3 days. And then I'd rather just get consistent. I want to do like consistent, like 10 to 15 minutes of reading every day. So I don't have days where I don't read comics. But I've recently got into like other hobbies like cooking and magic. And it's just like, I flip flop from hobby to hobby. So I'm trying to like, I think now that I'm doing less of the overviews of new releases and I have more time to be like, this is the video I want to do for this month, do the reading for that video. I'm more excited for that than here's 4 new books you can read 10 issues of each and never finish any of them.
Yeah, which is 100% understandable and also a lot less taxing on the soul. I feel like that's another
Yeah.
thing too. Like you never want to be in a spot where you experience burnout. I was
Yeah.
lucky enough last year to not get any experiences like that at all.
Even the whole Golden Age finest #1 for Superman.
I somehow
Or was it, did that take you to the precipice of burnout?
it almost it wasn't actually that book that got me there. It was Justice League, the Silver Age one, the DC Finest that came out for that. I would the Bridge Between Earths or whatever it's called. That was the one
Oh,
that
the bridge between worlds,
yeah, that was the old
right?
that was
Or maybe it was
Earths,
worlds or Earths.
Earths. That was the one that almost took me out because I was like, I do not feel like I want to read this at all at any point given because it was just like a lot of the same old. Hey, here's a random monster that the JLA have to fight, and here are a bunch of characters that sound the same, and
Yeah.
we're gonna go fight the. But luckily enough for me, I love this hobby too much to experience the burnout. Also, if I didn't, Omar would kill me and I'd miss a month of pay. But that's a joke for those who are rewatching. But yeah, that's what I felt like. I was almost there, and luckily I was able to be swept by something else that got me back
I th-
into.
I think the best way to avoid burnout, as someone who has experienced it and has come close again, is that you need to separate content reading and channel reading and work reading into one category and then you need to separate personal reading. Like you should be able to have a book that, like, for instance, I just read Love Everlasting, and I'm never going to do a video on Love Everlasting. That's not my channel's niche, you know. I love Tom King, and it was so fun to read a book that, or that, like I read Batman and Robin Year One, absolutely loved it, and I don't cover single issues on my channel, so I don't have to worry about making content for that book, well, until it finishes, until it's a deluxe edition in 4 years. You know what I mean? So I think I need to make sure that, and I think everyone needs that's in creative comics needs to make sure that you have personal reading, that you don't feel like you have to turn every page you read into a content, you know?
I I need adjectives or something else besides.
You concur.
I concur with
You
Jake.
put your stamp of approval on that idea. You relate, you empathize with that. But here's the thing. The thing is, sometimes you tell yourself, I'm reading this book for personal reasons, and you get so inspired that it becomes the best content of all when you weren't expecting it. You know what I mean? Okay, Gianni, it was you, Tom King hater. I love Jenny Sparks. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just kidding. I haven't read it.
Yeah,
One time, yeah, he doesn't like Jenny Sparks.
I
Not the
don't.
character, but the Tom King run.
Yeah, a lot of people, to my understanding, don't. But that is just. I digress. But I also will say, for at least for
Bat
Batstash,
Stash, you inspired me.
look at that. The channel peeps saying, "Hey, Jake is on one." But yeah, New Avengers is indeed incredible. And did you get the regular or the DM?
So I never get to choose what cover I want, and I learned a long way ago that if I ask for the DM cover, he sends me the standard, and if I ask for the standard, he sends me the DM. Because at the end of the day, mine might have a ding in it. Mine might be like, oh, we had an extra of this one. I oftentimes don't get DM covers because for some of the publishers, they've been shorting us a lot on DM covers, which has been really problematic. So I don't know. I'm really hoping for that one specifically. I get the standard cover. The standard cover looks iconic. It looks cool. I don't like the proportions on the DM cover. Everyone's chest looks like it was, you know, exaggerated and drawn really funky and weird. Um, I also feel the same way. I hope I get the DM cover for what's the X-Men book that came out last week? Decimation.
Decimation, yeah, Decimation came out this week.
I'm hoping I get the DM cover of Decimation with Wolverine and Magneto on it. I feel like that cover looks better than like 30
Yeah,
Sentinels on my cover.
yeah. Assad Ribic, I think, is a better illustrator than Salvador LaRocca, and I really like David Finch 2000s, like 2000s David Finch Marvel, for me at least. Very hard to miss anything out on those, and the silhouetted cover for issue 1 of New Avengers is iconic.
Yeah.
That's one of the covers when I think Marvel, I think of that cover.
So is New Avengers a new Omni that people have been waiting for a while, or is it a reprint
It's
from
a
a book that
it's a reprint that
there's
people have
never been a
waiting.
volume 2, right?
Never been a
is what
volume 2.
Got it. Okay. So people are hoping that this volume 1 leads into a volume 2.
You're correct.
Got it. Okay.
Let's see. Incineroar. Okay, so I'm catching up on chat. I apologize, guys. Incineroar is Fire Dark. He's a wrestling heel, so he has to be the bad guy, which is probably why I played Ultramoon twice, and I never chose Litten as my starter. I always chose. Rowlett's my favorite by far of that deck, but Poplio comes in at second for me. I love me a ghost flying.
I remember Ultra Moon or was like the most burnt out. I remember I was like trying to catch all the what are like the giant bug legendaries.
Yeah, the
The
Ultra Beast, yeah.
And I was just so burnt out. I was like, these look so ridiculous. These look like I don't care about any of them. They look so overpowered and ridiculous. And I just remember, but I still felt like I had to catch every single one.
That was me and all because they had all the legendaries in the game. I'm missing like 6 of them. I'm trying to find the wormholes where they're at, and all I keep getting are Ultra Beasts. And then the times that I want Ultra Beasts, I get a legendary. I'm like, why, guys? Anyways, dice rolls. Thank you, Game Freak. There you go. All New X-Men was the best of Marvel now. You know what? I actually can't wait to cover. I have a lot of thoughts on how I'm going to be covering the entirety of Marvel now, James. I have so many different ideas on it, including events, because I want to do parts of the events too. So we'll see what happens when it comes to that.
Can I throw a video topic I've been considering making into the chat for their feedback before I
Sure.
do it?
Yes.
So I feel like my channel has grown to a substantial, mind-blowing number that I'm incredibly proud of. But I also feel like it's reaching a maturity level because there's only so many people in the collected comics niche. So I feel like how I grow past when I hit 10K or past 10K is by making some content that appeals to a broader audience, like not selling out from collected editions because that's my bread and butter, but like stuff that maybe a regular comic reader or a regular nerd person can enjoy. And then they find my other videos on collected editions and maybe bring them into the hobby. So how would they people feel if I did a video like top 10 DC animated movies or top 10 DC TV shows? Like if I did my same listicle style and then the B-roll was like clips from the movie and things like that without the audio so I don't get demonetized and cut in between of me talking and things like that. And I talk about why like would people like that or do they just want collected editions on my YouTube? Because I just feel like in order to grow, I need to start branching out a little bit.
I think the thing with YouTube, and at least all the creators that I've seen be successful, even if I stop watching them personally, is that they make their channels evolve and grow. I mean, this was the same thing when I was watching some of my used to watch a lot of basketball video game content creators on YouTube. All of those bigger content creators now, they don't do basketball video game stuff anymore. They're reaching out to celebrities, they're doing like trick shots and all different types of those videos. So I think the more diverse your channel gets, as long as you stay in continuity and don't completely alienate your audience without
Yeah.
telling them like I want to change to something different, I think that's going to be good for your channel. Really the only one that I can think of, at least from my experience, is a channel called Laserbeam. For those who don't know, he used to be a American football video game content creator. And now he only does random video games, but he's grown so big. And so I think unless you're doing something as drastic as that,
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, I have my core niche of collected editions, but then every once in a while I sneak in something that's a little more mainstream in the comic world as like a net that I throw out there into the ocean for other people that hopefully my core audience can still enjoy, but hopefully catches new people and brings them into the overall envelop of my channel.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
And so, chat, let me know if you guys are interested in that kind of stuff or if you think I should stick to just collected editions and not get out of place.
I don't think throwing out different ideas is a bad thing at all for your channel or anybody else out there who's growing and also wants to diversify up a little bit. There's nothing wrong with sticking to a core spot, but once you get it there at a certain point, nothing bad with mixing the bowl. Also, I cannot wait to script that Daredevil. I read Mark Waid's Daredevil's Mark Waid's Daredevil was my first Daredevil like ever. And I fell in love with it, even though it was so different from all the other Daredevils I've read in the meantime, at least for the first half of that run. Because then it turns into your standard Daredevil fare, which I love. I love Wade's Daredevil. Everybody should read it to experience the Paulo Rivera, Javi Rodriguez, Marcos Martin, and obviously the amazing Chris Samnee, who is now doing, as Jake mentioned earlier in the stream, Batman and Robin Year One with Mark Waid. Which it's clear like that's Chris Samnee's like dream project.
Yeah.
To do
How was the new R edition of it? You said you pick that up?
I
Or was that
did.
you?
It's somewhere in my long stack of books. Let's see if I can find it actually.
And shouts out to Gianni saying if you need any help on the Marvel Now stuff, Gianni is an encyclopedia of comic book knowledge. So
He is indeed. I will find it somewhere. You are somewhere in here, Noir Edition.
I believe you.
Oh, there we
but
go. I found it.
Was that the first way you read that issue, or did you go back and get the new R edition?
I read the regular edition first, and then I gave that to a friend of mine at the comic shop because he doesn't have much money who wants to read more stuff. So I got that to him as a Christmas present. and I just kept this one instead. So this is the Noir edition, folks. Look at this, man. I can't begin to tell you guys how much I think Chris Samnee is just putting all of the love in every single one of these pages. I hope Wade wants an absolute of it. I hope that we get to see it at some point, because this art deserves it. We should be able to get this Noir edition.
It was one of those books that I was reading and instantly going to be like, oh yeah, I want an absolute of this.
Yeah, this is that. There's no question in my mind. I'm like, don't bother about the deluxe DC. Just get it straight. Get it straight to absolute. It's gorgeous. One of my favorites of last year, for sure.
I felt the same way about Absolute Wonder Woman.
Oh,
that's gonna be a wild absolute edition.
I have the Noir edition of that too. Let me see if I can find it.
I feel like the colors are so good in that though, like the use of red and everything.
Oh, Jordi Belair is absolutely spectacular. By the way, guys, if this is what my reading piles look like every 2 weeks.
Where do you have the space for them, man? I thought you were at college.
Well, I am at college, but I commute there. I don't like actually live in the dorm.
Oh, okay.
But
dude, speaking of commuting, you should come down to WonderCon and stay at my place.
I should. And I actually
WonderCon would be rad, bro. I have a spare room you can stay in for free.
Okay. I'll ask Omar. I'll ask Omar about it, because the nice thing about working in Nearman Condition is that I get a press pass to literally every single convention that I want to go to. So just told me, if you want to go to a con, let me know. Otherwise,
wait, can I get a press pass for WonderCon? I don't know how to do that.
You have to work for us first.
Okay. But if we're going together, you get one and I don't, that sucks.
I know. But for those of you that are wondering, there's also a Noir edition for Absolute Wonder Woman. There's also one for Batman. I have no idea where it is, but Hayden Sherman is currently my favorite artist at DC. And I don't know if you could see, there you go, some of the lines we get in focus. But the paneling in this and Absolute Batman are why, like, I think artistically those two stand out amongst the rest of DC's books. And the way that each of... Literally, I don't even know if I have the words to describe just how gorgeous and unique the styling is of these books in comparison to the rest of the DC Universe books. So those are the Noir editions. You can pick them up at your local comic shop. They go for, if I have the price here, for $4.99 for the first issues. There's also one for Batman, like I said earlier. Also one for Absolute Superman. So if you are interested in the way that those books are penciled, there is something there for you. Let's see. Yeah, New 52 retrospectives. I thought about that too, but then I was like, wait, I should put myself up more with the Marvel. So that's what I'm gonna do for.
No, don't go to the dark side.
But that is what it is. Let me see if I can catch up on chat, because I feel like I'm a billion years behind. There you go. I like King's creator-owned much more than his Big Two work personally, and that's fair. I feel the same way, Gianni. But yeah, Jaggernaut, kamusta to you too. I don't know if you're still in chat, but is the new Avengers Omni worth it? Have never read it. Yes, 100%. Buy it, read it, love it, store it, enjoy it, read it disassembled. Doesn't matter. Read all of it.
I'm currently feel like I went on an awesome, like, I met like someone, and then like now I'm waiting for them to call me, and I'm getting nervous by the phone because Tom King was like, sure, man, we'll link up in the end of January and we'll do an interview. I would love to do it. Like, you seem awesome. Like, I would love to be it. And now I'm like, how long, when am I supposed, like, I messaged him in the new year, was like, hey, just want to know if we can lock down that date. And he hasn't replied yet. And I'm just like being a nervous Nilly, but he said he'd do it. So I just got to wait till end of January, you know?
Indeed. Yeah. Sometimes
they're fleeting, you know?
Yes. Sometimes things get backlogged. Maybe knowing how writers are and how busy their schedules tend to get, sometimes they get a little bit busy. Sometimes you don't get replies for like a week or two, but
it's cool though, because I am working so hard to come up with the best questions possible. So like the more time I have, the better my questions can be.
No, for sure. And that's the beauty of it. You get more time to think and actually cook in the oven.
The dream is to get them to go, oh, that's a good question. That's every interviewer's dream.
Indeed. Moose Matafer says, frustrated that DC never released the rest of Dark Crisis and paperwork. It is very much a Titans related event, and I do think we will eventually get an omnibus of it at some point. I don't know how long that will be, but that is what I do have. Ken, also good morning to you, Kenny. What are your favorites? Who are your favorite, I should say, iconic actors and actresses to play DC heroes on the film screen?
Are we doing just live action film on TV, or are we doing? Because for me, I feel like I love, as a live action actor, Robert Pattinson as the Batman side. I feel like he hadn't created his Bruce Wayne persona yet, and I'm excited to see that evolution. Um, but for me, Kevin Conroy's animated Batman, and I guess he did play it live action in the Crisis crossover. He played like a Kingdom Come Batman. I love Kevin Conroy's voice is instilled in my soul whenever I read comics, in the same way that I forget the actor who played the animated Superman. His voice is in my head too. I love Brandon Routh as Superman, because that was the first Superman movie I got to see in theaters as a kid. Christopher Reeve is amazing. I love him. I watched the documentary and cried into a pillow, into a pillow. But that was like, those were like older movies when I was a kid, and I love them. I still watch them to this day. But Brendan Routh was the Superman that I got to see in theaters, and so cool that he got to come back in the Crisis crossover. I know he wasn't the strongest, but I still think he did a good job. And those are probably like, I would say those are my favorite.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, George Newbern, who voices Superman in the old shows as well as the Injustice games, because the Injustice people were just like, you know what, let's bring literally almost everybody who's been iconic to those characters, for VAs anyways, over to that video game, including, I think, my favorite is probably Carrie Payton, the Cyborg. I think
he's great. Yeah.
I'll probably die on that hill. He was my cyber growing up. I'm really glad wherever he's at. I don't care what thing he's VAing, I will be there to support. So yeah, I hopefully that answers your question, Ken. I don't think
Brendan Fraser is pretty incredible as Robot.
Or about Robot Man, yeah.
Show.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
so that's another one where I can't imagine anyone playing Robot other than him.
I concur.
There we go. We got to get like a little Rolodex of like.
I need what I need to do. I have a pack of sticky notes here. I just need to have it next to my monitor saying, hey, this is what I need to do for.
You know what? Just hit me with a ditto.
Maybe that's what I should just say, ditto. Whatever.
Should we just have a ditto graphic that pops on the screen whenever you agree with me?
I can do that.
Yes!
I will do that. I will do that for the next one of these that we do. And also, super big thank you, Gianni. I will find a way, man. We'll find a way. You can help me with scheduling. I have a lot of thoughts in that era, and I'm thinking of figuring a way to split it up. Maybe we can meet sometime or talk sometime this week about it. Jake wants you to do movie stuff, or Alex wants you to do movie stuff, Jake, I should say.
Now I'm not going to do it anymore.
I would
He
love.
was coming after me in the chat on Saturday.
Matafer.
Also, I saw you pop into our book club for 2 seconds on Saturday.
Oh, you know
and
what?
then you dipped out.
You know what happened? So on your phone for Discord, you can actually see, like, I won't. So you can see at like the top. I'll cover the name. You can see like, oh, there's activity there, whether it's a voice chat or anything. What happened was I clicked on it because I was trying to get to the DM of a friend, and then I heard somebody talking through my phone. I was like, wait, what happened? I was like, hey, Dom's here, and I was like, wait, what? What is this?
They're like, nope, I hate Klaus.
Hey, I've only read the first deluxe. I
think that's all there is. You mean like the trade?
Or no.
Like
Not the complete class. Like they made 3 deluxe hardcovers of it before the complete deluxe.
Okay. Yeah, I have the full deluxe, but I only read the first 7 issues of like the first series.
Okay. Yeah.
But I looked through the other ones, and they look rad.
They
do.
Because they had the Kickstarter.
There's one where like he goes to like an Ultimates universe and fights an evil Ultraman Santa.
Mm-hmm. There is,
I'm
yeah.
down for that.
Dan Mora is amazing. I really want the full deluxe or complete Klaus at some point. I completely missed on both the Kickstarter, which there was a 1500 one that had like a lot of extras from Grant Morrison signed and Dan Mora, also sketches and originals and signed. And then I'm just like here, and there was like one with a silver or like silver/gold
Mm.
foil. I missed
The
out on that because I didn't have any money to buy the book. So
I got mine last year as a Christmas gift from my co-host, and then I read it. It was like, Jordan, you gotta buy it too, and then it was sold out. So it was a missed opportunity. But speaking of that, did you get any comics for Christmas?
I did, including from our good friend. So yeah, I got 3 Omnis from the May. I got Judgment Day. I
Nice.
got the Judgment. This is the DM Patrick Gleason cover, one that I have been looking for a billion years, but also never managed to get.
Here, I'm gonna grab one of my gifts. Give me 1 second.
All good, all good. I'll continue to show the chat. I got the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. Marvel Rivals got me to get this, and I will say I cannot wait to jump in and read this. This Squirrel Girl, I feel like, is one of those books that hooks everybody in, not just the regular comic book reader, but Squirrel Girl also gets the people who might be on the fence about these books. These also do really well at school fairs, the scholastic fairs, book fairs. This is very popular with the all ages crowd, as well as the people who, the graphic novels crowd. And then I cannot wait to get into Kelly Thompson's Captain Marvel run. This has been something that's been on my reading list for a while. I've only read the Empire tie-ins and the crossover issues with the Brood with Doug and X-Men, and I haven't read the rest of the run. I'm ashamed for that, and I want to get back to that at some point.
So I got a couple. I got 3 Omnis as well, from my dear friend JP for Christmas. But they haven't come in yet. I picked Arkham Saga, which I've heard terrible things about, but that's just the completionist in me. I got Batman 66, which I've heard amazing things about.
That's a good book.
And then I got the X-Men Taschen. But the gift I did get in from dear friend Gianni is he got me Beneath the Trees.
Ooh.
So where nobody sees. So this is awesome because this isn't one that's sold at OPB. So this was a great gift. The art looks incredible, and I've heard amazing things about the story. And I think my wife will enjoy it too.
I cannot wait for you to read that. I do not have a copy of the book, though, which is unfortunate.
Should have been better friends with Gianni.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But also, let me say real quick to Mattifer, I would love to do DCU retrospectives, because not only are they like 10, all of them like 10, 12 issues long because they only lasted for a year. There's also some interesting stuff there that I can talk about. Like, we've talked about Gordon Bats a lot on both of our channels. And that is something that, looking back, because it's been 10 years since then, I want to know if it still hits. It hit hard for me when I was 14. I don't know if I can say the same 10 years later, but we shall see. I would love to do that, Mattifer. I will figure out a way to somehow integrate that onto my channel. And yeah, I feel like any comic book YouTuber, just get back to this real quick, has to evolve in a way that makes a broader appeal to wider comic book readers, storylines, retrospective, or video. Yeah, I agree with that. There's a channel out there. His name is Salazar Knight. He does Batman history videos. And even though I don't agree with Salazar Knight's opinions on a lot of things for Batman, I still find it very interesting to see somebody's views and take on a book with emphasis, certainty, and everything else that's thrown in there. So I
love it.
Yeah. So yeah. And yeah, I can't wait to bring you guys that content too. I have so many ideas, and I'll figure it out I will message Gianni, and I will probably get this rolling sometime at the end of the month. It's just going to be a lot of work, but that's what YouTube is. So
But it's fun. We have fun with it.
Indeed. But yes, it's good. Buy New Avengers. Everybody here, buy New Avengers when you get the opportunity.
Except the one guy who doesn't like New Avengers.
That's right. That's right.
From earlier.
Matt Ryan is. Oh yeah, we were talking about this earlier. Matt Ryan as John Constantine is also a good pick, good choice.
I loved when he showed up on the Crisis crossover with Lucifer.
Hmm.
That was good. I know it was the show was different, but I thought the actor who played Lucifer was pretty good in the role.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I didn't use the completely agree this time.
I
See,
like that. That was a double negative.
there you go.
Someone said we should call it Steve Ditto and make it
Steve.
look like Ditto, but dress him up like Steve Ditko.
Oh yes, yes, Phil. Yes, yes. I will find a way to do that. Make an animation for it. I'll pop it in every time. Have it cut.
This is fun though, because I feel like whenever I do a stream with Jess, we disagree about everything. So it's nice to do a stream where we agree about everything. It's kind of nice.
Well. I think so. Here's actually my take on disagreements and being negative and all that. As comic readers, I mean, this is essentially a cult medium. It's very much a niche medium. It's a niche cult medium where we ourselves, like, we're relegated to like a small handful group of people that we like a lot of things or we don't like a lot of things. And I do think at the end of the day, the thing that makes us different and why we shouldn't strive to be that, like, oh, like, if we all had the same opinions on everything, if like we had this universal take that Jonathan Hickman Avengers is like the best thing ever, well, that would mean that there's no room for criticism on the book and we can't have an open discussion about that. And we need to have people who have differing opinions so that everything balances out. Because if we don't, we're going to just be the echo chamber that we keep telling people, oh, we don't want to be that. So that's my take on it. I do think that there needs to be a balance of everything. You can agree that a book is great, but I think the nice thing about it having so many different voices and people is that we get an opportunity to not only have our voice, but also say, if something doesn't work out for somebody, then it doesn't work out for that person. It doesn't need to be a universal one singular opinion on something. But that's okay. Because we as people, we need to be different. And if we're not different, then we're just as boring as the rest of everybody.
True. When we did Gianni's podcast, I feel like it was 2 seconds in when Omnidog was going to quit because of him and Gianni's different opinions. But I love that. I love here, but it was just a joke. He was just joking. But I love when people have different opinions because I sometimes feel like a simpleton when it comes to comics because I think I only read one comic I didn't like last year. I only read one comic. I did every other comic. I'm like 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars. Like I'm just so easy to please because I love the hobby so much. And sometimes I feel like I'm not as critical as I should be, but I also just don't have the energy for that. If I read something and it makes me happy, then I'm happy. You know what the only comic I didn't like that I read last year?
Mm-hmm.
Escape from Bizarro World by Jeff Johns.
Oh, hold on. I have that next to me.
If everyone liked the same comics, we wouldn't be able to make fun of Jake.
Oh my gosh. Let me see.
Did that get a deluxe edition?
No. This
Thank
never
God.
Where is that? Oh, there we go, Alex. I don't disagree. But I will say that, yeah, again, we need to be different as people, and if we weren't different, we would just be doing the same thing over and over again. There's no diversity or in the storytelling or in opinions, and we need to be able to have that as far as this hobby is concerned, just because if everybody liked the same thing, we would all be writing and creating and drawing the same thing, and wouldn't we be getting tired of that? Like, we have so many different stories, characters that appeal to so many different people, and we need to lean more into that instead of just being, oh, everything is great, or there's just, I can't figure a way out to express myself, but I like it. It helps us grow as critics too.
But on that note, on the next DC Evergreen stream, I'm gonna pick the safest, most basic choices possible.
Hey, you can't take my bit. That's my bit. Do it. Because yeah, we do have the Evergreen stream. I did just make the thumbnail for that. Sent it to Omar. It is hot off the presses, and we will.
Does it have Superman holding Supergirl?
No, but it does have it has two very menacing characters on it, and then the other guy is a superhero. So
nice.
So
I'm guessing. Can I guess the characters?
Sure.
Anti-Monitor and Darkseid.
Wow. How did you ever guess that? You actually got it.
Yes.
You actually got it. Um, let's see. I thought Matt Ryan. He's currently an analyst over at CBS. Alex, did you know that? Yeah, I wanna get into it, Metaphor. I'm gonna add that to my list too. And I don't think those videos are gonna be as long to make as the Marvel Now retrospectives.
I, d- I don't think the next evergreen topic's been announced yet, so I'm not sure if that's my place to say.
I think Jess or James, if he's still in chat, I don't think he's popped in yet since the beginning, but I think he did talk about it on Jess's, and I can also say that yeah, we are doing DC event evergreens or DC events evergreen for the
I
next one.
I asked, I was like, does it have to be an Omni? And he goes, I don't think so. And I'm like, well, that doesn't build me with confidence. He's like, Peter will let everyone know. So from what it's what we think should always be in print, but not specific. It doesn't have to be an omnibus, right?
You're
Or a
correct.
specific format. It's just like the event itself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Indeed. But yeah, Metaphor, no, I really, really appreciate it. And Jake is an amazing friend
I
of mine. You should jump.
thank you. And I also really appreciate that. Thank you so much, man. That means a lot.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Makes a lot of cool Watchmen videos and evergreen Watchmen
I
videos.
like to joke that we've milked Watchmen more than DC.
That's true. That is true. That is objective fact. I don't agree. That's true. Like that's just in print, but
Yeah.
as in print as Watchmen. Uh, I would take Hickman Avengers over Bendis Avengers personally, Jaggernaut, but I do think it is up to people's personal preferences on what they think is better.
Do you need to read as much before New Avengers? Because whenever I wanted to read Hickman Avengers, people are like,
Don't worry,
you
dude.
got to start 6 books before
Don't worry
with
about no,
Secret
no.
Warriors and then do Fantastic Four and then do all, like I feel like I never, by the time I try to read Hickman Avengers, I'm 3 books deep and I never get to it.
There you go. Omar, yeah. So yeah, we're gonna be doing DC Evergreens, and I think I will be there, or should be there, because I sent Omar my picks. I didn't even do a spreadsheet this time. I usually like doing spreadsheets for books, but I'm like, I
I
didn't
have
want.
my first two. I don't know about my third.
Ah, okay. But yeah, Jags.
Should I
Don't.
do a joke pick? Should I say my evergreen pick is Drowned Earth?
Yeah, that was an event, huh? Oh shit. You should do. You know what you should do? You should do one of the. You should do 4 recent DC events that weren't loved by the people. I'm thinking not Lazarus Contract. There was another Teen Titans Deathstroke crossover. Terminus Agenda. Okay, you know what? Your joke list should be Terminus Agenda.
No, I'm gonna do
War
the
for Earth
what's the I'm
3.
gonna do not Laz there was two Lazarus ones, right? There was the first one and then there was the Gods battle, right? But
Yeah, but they all
I'm
count as one for Lazarus
okay,
Planet.
so I'm gonna do Lazarus Island, Drowned Earth, and Amazon's Attack.
Why do you do that?
Or what's the alien one? Invasion?
Yeah, yeah. There you go. We already got Jake's stuff in the meantime, guys. There you go. This is a first look at. No, he's probably not gonna do that, but we will find a way
Okay,
to
so
do
I'm gonna do Heroes in Crisis. I'm just kidding.
it. You know
I
what?
shouldn't I shouldn't we can't love Heroes in Crisis on the Titan show.
Yeah, we can't because he. Yeah, Tom. Well, stuff happens.
It has to be like, is it crisis level events or any event
Any
ever?
event.
Like for instance, is Batman Nightfall an event?
Nightfall is an event. You could even. You know what? I will actually argue you can do. There's a lot of Scott Snyder books that also count as events because they have tie-ins.
Could I do like
Death of the
would
Family is an event.
would
Endgame
Death
is
of
an event.
Superman be an event?
Death of Superman definitely is an event.
Okay.
Uh,
Well then I think I might have picked my third right there. I'm going for the safest, most basic choices. I'm gonna go
and Omar will
Batman
probably agree
Nightfall.
with
Batman's back is broken.
you.
Death of Superman. Not only does he die, but he returns.
Dun 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 dun. Dun. YouTube, don't demonetize me.
Yeah.
One of the things I love about Epics and DC Fine is that they jump around the time. Yeah, no, that's the nice thing about these two, right? And I actually have a copy of Aquaman with me. The stories of Arthur Curry can be found in issue 280 of Adventure Comics in here, or the origin of it. And I still need to get around to filming it. I have a super busy day today, but alas, we
So
are.
we have some dissent in the chat. Gianni saying, I think Nightfall is more of a storyline status quo than an event personally. And Alex going Court of Owls, which I feel like is again,
You
like
can.
for me,
Mhm.
it's hard because it's like, what is an event? Like there's smaller events, like Night of the Monster Men and Rebirth. Like, is that an event? When I feel like an event to me is something crisis level, either like a crisis like Dark Crisis or something like Identity Crisis. You know, to me that seems more like an event, but like something line wide. But I guess if we're doing character wide, then that opens up a lot more.
Right, because I think the
Oh
overall.
my God, dude. Heroes in Crisis, the worst beating of a fictional character since Jesus.
My goodness. That is a lot to say for an event that happened in 2019. You know what? I bought every single issue, both covers,
I
except
think
for
I have
issue
them
9.
too.
Except for issue 9. And I remember going to my comic shop and telling the person who was working there at the time, I don't want issue 9. And he was like, Dom, you just need one more issue. I'm like, yeah, I know. And then I went away. I never picked up issue 9. But yeah. So next Evergreen
That
issue was
Kato with the bold choice of Night Terrors.
that.
I agree with them though. Night Terrors might have been better if it was in October and not like 2 months into the start of Dawn of DC.
2 months indeed. Yeah, you should do your event cash grabs and comics Nightfall and that. Yeah, I think the thing with events, from my understanding, the way that I like to characterize it is that it's a main line. There's a mainline story with supplemental tie-ins. Um,
Like, does it have to have its own like does it like it have to have its own issue?
no, because there are also events that just like happen in like. Do you say? Because Ten of Swords, right, from Marvel, it only has like the 3 one-shots, but that was a crossover event. Like there's a crossover.
I kind of feel like an event. Like, are we doing? It depends on what we're doing. Like, are we just doing anytime any two characters have crossed over ever as an event? I feel like it has to be like. I feel like we should be a little more. It's not my thing, so I'll do whatever the show does.
Mhm.
But I almost feel like an event is something that has its own self-titled run or issue at least. You know what I mean? Like it can have like the other ones would be like tie-in issues of that event, but there should be a mainline event book that has like I don't know, like Infinite Crisis has its own Infinite Crisis 1 through 6 versus there are tie-in issues from other characters, but like um I feel like what I don't know, like it just depends on what we're considering an event, you
Right,
know?
yeah, it's an event is a story arc that crosses through multiple series with a core set of issues and sometimes tie-in issues from other series. Typically, I'd also like to have them like between at least three titles. Like for example, again, Ten of Swords. I mean, that's line wide for X-Men. I'm thinking like stuff like Zero Hour, where there's like 0 issues and everything else is thrown in there. They have,
X of Swords is an X-Men crossover storyline, not an event. An event would be something like Civil War where everyone in the MU is involved.
well, I mean, that's the problem. Is like you get. I think everybody has a different definition of an event, and for me, again, like it. If we were just keeping it to like line like character wide, I don't think that's fair enough for, especially for these companies that are labeling stuff as events. Creators are saying this is an event. Because if it was just line wide, then we only have like 8, 9 books to choose from. We only have 7 or 8 crises to choose from.
It would be yeah, it'd be like everyone would pick Infinite Crisis 52 and I don't know who the
I don't
fifth.
even know if 52 doesn't count as an event because it didn't tie into any. Like that was just like its own standalone title. That's the problem. These are the types of
Is
arguments I can't
52
wait
an
to.
event? I feel like 52 is an event.
I don't think 52 is an event.
Chat, do you agree or do you not agree?
I don't think. Yeah. Again, event like the definition of event varies between person to person. See, this is why I can't wait to have that stream because I want to argue with people over what an event is.
Yeah, we were talking about how we like to agree with everybody, Steve Ditto, but we love to fight
Uh,
in just to run out. I
yeah,
thought there was There was no like. Okay.
Yeah, see that again, that's the problem. Like we don't have set definitions, at least in the comics industry, because you can say something is an event and it doesn't have like tie-ins. Yeah, so I feel let me see if oh yeah, Logan, I saw your comment. Yes, I will be on NMC in half an hour, but I'll go to the chat 9 more. We can hang off for 9 more minutes since
So
Jake got here
so
late.
you could say that 52 isn't an event, but World War III would be.
52 is not an event. I also will say World War III was not an event either.
I guess I just thought it was because so many characters, like if you look at like 52 Aftermath, the Four Horsemen or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
like so many characters crossed over together in
Mm-hmm.
that run
Right.
to where it felt like an event for me,
Mm-hmm.
and where I put it like in between Infinite Crisis and Final Crisis. So I guess like for me, it's just like I think to me an event makes me feel like crossover where there's multiple characters interacting together.
Right. And there's also the other part too where it's you think that something might have like a residual impact on the rest of the universe, right? Yeah, see, yeah, World War III was it was a mini series by Tomasi and Mankey. It wasn't
Okay,
yeah.
well, I'm looking at the publication history of DC Comics crossover events. I wouldn't call Wonder Woman's Invisible Twin in 1953 a crossover, an event.
No, but if we're gonna keep it on the granular level of you know what, this is nice homework because now we have a leg up on others before the invite is sent out. Like if we are keeping
Oh
it to
God, don't pick Bloodlines.
yeah, story arc that crosses through multiple series with a core set of issues and sometimes events from or sometimes tie-ins with other series. And it's weird too because again by that definition all of Scott Snyder's arcs for Batman are technically events. Night of the Owls is an event. Death of the Family is an event. Zero Year is an event. Endgame is an event. And like that's what I'm saying is like if you even if you have like core set definitions, there are still series of arcs that you can technically count as an event with that mentality slash definition, even if they might feel like it's not. But because of the guidelines that you set for whatever yourself or you think is,
W-
I don't know.
Would you consider Seven Soldiers an event because it was multiple titles that crossed over into one
I
story?
think it's just a run. I don't know if I
But
could.
it was multi-title.
But which do you call the core part? Is my like because that's the thing. Like there has to be that central core of this is the main story. But if every single part is the main story, is that really an event?
Okay, so Sinestro Core War is an event. Final
Yep.
Crisis, Blackest Night.
Mm-hmm.
Would you consider New Krypton an event or a publishing initiative?
Superman, New Krypton.
There was like a bunch of
Yeah,
issues.
that was a lot of issues. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say it's up. Yeah, publishing initiative slash uh initiative slash like era for Superman.
I just feel like every Batman storyline could be considered an event because they'd usually give it one innocuous tie-in for each Bat family member. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like every Batman story, like Court of Owls, Endgame, Night of the I feel like to me, like I don't know. I feel like it needs more than just a tie-in issue, but I don't know.
Right? Yeah, that's why I can't wait to have the stream to talk about.
Okay, well, I got to start over my choices.
But I mean, you can do your. I mean, like mine are the simplest, blandest DC event picks ever.
Like Milk Wars.
That's not an event. Is no, that is an event. You're right. You're right. Milk Wars is an event. Gosh. Oh man, I can't. Yeah, I can't wait to have that stream. Yeah, good evening. Good evening indeed, Munin. And yeah, 5 minutes. I'll give the chat 5 minutes to mull over. If you guys have any other lasting questions, feel
Yeah,
free to
chat,
ask
tell
them.
us what your event would be.
Tell us what your DC evergreen events would be.
See, Gene fills me. Seven Soldiers is for sure an event, though. One core issue and then multiple tie-ins. I think we need to establish the definition of what an event is.
Right. Well, I established the definition, but by my definition, it technically does count as that, like under those house rules. And if we are going to be doing that, right? Do we also consider an event something to be along the lines of, oh, it has residual impact on whatever that the line is, or the rest of, because that's
I feel like that's the most important part is did it have impact or was it just the status quo? I I don't know. I still feel like 52 was one line, but it had every character come in and it had rippling effects to the rest of the DC continuity at the time. We got a new question. You know what I mean? Like things like that. Like I feel like, but yeah, maybe people will argue it's not, but um I don't know. I guess I'm struggling on the definition now.
yeah, we somebody out there needs to make and say this is an event, this isn't one. Like I would not. I know some people consider House of X, Powers of 10 to be an event, but I don't consider it an event. I just consider it a storyline. Um,
Is JLA Avengers an event?
I would not say so. No, it's just a crossover. Like I think there's a difference between like crossover event. I would say that's Ten of Swords. Crossover is something like or no, not Lazarus Contract, Terminus Agenda with Teen Titans and Deathstroke. This was back. If you've read if anybody's read the Christopher Priest Deathstroke Omni, that's one of the last parts of that book. Yeah, Blackest Night Forever. Those are good picks. I'm assuming that some people are gonna try to argue. Like, I think you could make a Jeff Johns, like, just have all the events be written by Jeff Johns. Like, put in Infinite Crisis, Flashpoint.
Infinite Crisis, I feel like is going to be the number one pick.
Yeah, Infinite Crisis and Crisis and Infinite Earths are going to be there on the top 10. There's no way that those don't make it. And if for whatever reason they don't, I am going to tell Peter, do not invite me on any more Evergreen streams.
This says DC Rebirth. What happens when the titles of New 52 reach their 52nd issue? What comes next? There's the DC Rebirth one shot, but that's a publishing initiative,
Right,
not an event, right?
right, yeah, exactly. And yeah, this was a thing that that our boy Bakato was talking about. New 52 could be considered an event. Maybe it was but the thing is, like, what caused that reboot? That reboot was Flashpoint. Flashpoint is by definition an event. Like, that's your main 5 issues of Flashpoint and a whole bunch of revolving tie-ins around that specific event.
Yo, 3D glasses for the win.
Fickle, because I love Final Crisis. I am mulling between, if I, you know what, I'm just gonna say it to the chat. There are some that I'm mulling that I'm like, I love these books, but I have no idea if it's gonna make it at the end. So I don't know if I want to include it, because thankfully, not thankfully, but James told me that apparently all of my picks for the Evergreens have been successful, and I don't want that streak to end.
Why? That's a prison. Pick the weird ones that nobody else is gonna pick.
No, because then you end up in the absolute wildcat situation where you get clowned on.
But at least you have integrity. I would rather pick something I truly believed in than, except for this one. I learned my lesson. Maybe I'm a hypocrite.
No, do it. Do it.
I'm gonna
Have
pick
fun.
the most basic ones. Okay, my last problem with the last one was I felt like he had people that didn't even collect Absolute Edition, so they were talking about just the storyline that they thought was most iconic and not what absolutes were the most important. But I think I cared about that one too much.
No, that's okay. Because no, you should. Because if you don't care, nobody else does. It's your job as a person to make the chat and yo, what you like, Don? That's I love those debates. Sometimes they make.
Can we hear on this stream right now? If you weren't trying to go for a perfect score, what's the one event that you would have picked if you didn't care about your perfect score?
If I did not.
If you did not care about your perfect score, what would be the one random event that you personally love that you wouldn't pick because you don't think it would get voted on? What is your number one event that you didn't pick?
Brightest Day. Everybody talks
Nice.
about Blackest Night, But I don't think. Well, it's partly because the main series is just okay. I think a lot of the tie-ins with Green Lantern, Green Lantern Corps, and some of the brand new books that got sprung out of Brightest Day were a lot of the highlights of how the DC universe ramped up after the ramifications of what happened in Blackest Night. But I know nobody's going to agree with me on that. They're like, Don, why didn't you just pick Blackest Night?
But I feel like it's more fun if you do, and you imagine how good it would feel if your argument was so inspiring for Brightest Day that you swayed people and you had a authentic score.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Just
Authentic
some.
versus objective. I always try to. Always try.
Oh, now I'm swayed.
So yeah, there
Are
you
you
go.
picking what's best for the masses versus what's best for yourself? You're picking what's best for the. Okay, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, because I want people. See, I think I was also partly motivated by Phoenix Omnibus Volume 1 somehow making it to the end of the Marvel Evergreen Omnibuses. Because I will say this, Peter, who is a good friend of the show, good friend of mine, is very, very persuasive and knows how to
I
appeal.
I feel like the chat wants you to include Brightest Day. Chat, let us know. Does he want Brightest Day? Should we put Brightest Day in there? I feel like do a poll. The chat wants it. Owen wants it. I want it. Um, I'll even vote for it.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Yeah. DC. No, I would pick absolute power as an event. That does count because that did have tie-ins, both mainline and brand new spin-off series. I would not say All In is an initiative. I think there's a difference, and we need to clear that up. And you know what? I want to make a. That's what I should do. I want to do a definitions video. That is an evergreen video that I think both of us would have fun doing, so we can clear up. Um, clear
Like
up.
for instance, I think Rebirth is the all-in initiative, and then you look at the Rebirth events would be like you could say Night of the Monstermen, Justice League versus Suicide Squad versus Rebirth being that whole initiative. Even though Rebirth had a launch issue, the my God, the wind shut my door. Yeah, I I don't know. I think it'd be bold to see Brightest Day on there.
Okay, I'll think about it.
And to Matafar's question, I don't really look at rumors for things that don't happen because I don't want to be disappointed. I really liked what Tom King's original pitch was with Nightwing getting Vertigo and Tim Drake having to be Nightwing, and I've been forever disappointed that we didn't get that. So I try not to do that stuff. I know that people were super controversial with 5G, so I don't know. I'm open to reading anything, so I would have read it and had my opinions there, but I don't have thoughts because I didn't exist, so I don't, if Damien was a clone, I don't think that makes him any less real than if he's still Batman's DNA. I think Batman still would have considered him a son, you
Yeah,
know?
for sure.
So in the same way that if you're adopted, I mean, there's a big difference between I'm adopted. There's a big difference between being adopted and being a clone. But if you're genetically a clone, in all that matter, even if he's not genetically Batman's son, he would still be Batman's son because Batman would view and treat him like a son
Mm,
because Batman is his father. So I think you could have made Damian an alien, a clone, a robot. Batman would still love Damian like his son.
for sure, for sure. We will have this bigger discussion in the next part of the stream. Shall
Yeah, Gene, if I get murdered, if I'm not back next month, I got murdered by a ghost.
indeed. But that is, as we wrap this up, because I do have to be in other places. But I will say to the rest of the chat, and also hello, Leslie. This other generic random guy is my friend Jake from the Brave and the Boys.
Generic. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I will win. I always do. Not one of my picks has been shot down. I will say, I'd like to thank my friend Jake for making the time today on Tuesday
Oh, it was a pleasure.
to relaunch the show and do it under new form. And if push comes to shove, I would love to bring these back over to Jake on his channel as well because the graphics are cool. But it will be streaming on Jake's other channel, so you can of course follow Brave and the Boys here down below. At Brave and the Boys. You can also click on the YouTube title. There will be a link there, a clickable link. Head over to his channel, go sub to him. He makes amazing content, also amazing Watchmen content.
Mediocre content. I will always say that I am not a comic book expert. I am just someone who likes comics and enjoy making videos. So there are way smarter people and way more experts, but at least I will always be authentically passionate about what I love. I never make videos about things that I hate. So if you like positivity in your comic book content, that's what you'll find in spades in my channel.
For sure. And of course, you can follow me. All of the links that I have are up there in the top right. So if you want to follow me on Blue Sky or Instagram or Twitch, I do have those in the top right corner and also down in the bottom. And again, we're doing this monthly, but this time it will be on Jake's channel. So you can cross over to him. In February, if you guys watch my 2025 resolutions video, I also do have the schedule for when those are. Time sensitive, stuff changes, but we will be here every single Tuesday of the month. Thank you, Shalom, for the compliments there. And of course, you can find me and what I do with my work in the comic book industry at comicreleases.com, which you can support us for just $2 a month. And also you get a watch list and a bunch of other cool goodies on that website as well. And join our Discord as well if you want to talk to me or some other cool people and everything else along of that sort. But that is going to be it from me. I am Dom of X. You be you guys. Take care. Jake, do you have anything else to say to the...
Keep reading and stay brave.
Perfect. Man, we got